Hi, you usually see me doing these videos with me and my guitar. The reason I'm looking here is because my guitar is right here. My cat, for some reason, loves to interrupt. Inji, you know what? Inji, come here. Inji. She loves to wake up from her naps, especially when I'm recording. I'm going to bring her. Yeah, you know what? You deserve to see this little. Ah! Hi, do you have something to say? Yeah, she was sleeping and then she decided to wake up the moment I set up the camera, and she always does this. Oh god. And we love that because she's supportive and she wants to come and show support by, you know, walking around and getting in and out of the house. Yeah, I honestly don't know what this video is about really. I sat down to record a cover. I was testing out like what the thing was looking like. And then I decided, you know what? I've been thinking, and I've also been asking questions on like my Instagram on what I should be doing other than music, if you were to watch. So today I'm just gonna have like the stream of consciousness thoughts. A little bit of background. If you've been here for a while, you probably know some of the bits and pieces. I started this YouTube channel like a decade ago, and that's insane to say. I was just posting covers and stuff, and that kind of led me to me doing like my first live show. And that kind of led me to this delusional idea that, you know what, maybe I'm going to pursue music. Because honestly speaking, I was so depressed and I was like very closeted at the time as well. I just wasn't happy with what I was doing. Like I was working some like different jobs in like the media sphere of things, and I was so frustrated that I just like decided I'd put up a cover. And I had just been playing around with like a different kind of like arrangement for different kinds of songs and things like that. So I decided to put up a cover of like Riptide by Vance Joy. You can watch that video. I'll probably put it on the, I don't know which side it's gonna come up. Yeah, can you tell that I'm a noob at this? So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do this. And that led to me putting up a video, and then a bunch of people in my like, my acquaintances, etc., saw it. Just so happened to be that one of them was also a musician, and he decided to put me in touch with someone who was like programming shows and stuff. And then I ended up doing a live show, and then a few years after that I decided to make original music. It's been a very slow and like trying journey at different points of time, but I just want to say, like, this is one of those things where, obviously I have to acknowledge the immense amount of privilege I have to be able to even think about pursuing this. I don't know. I just feel like I can't do anything else but this, if you know what I mean. Like there's always that thing where we're like, shit, man, I don't know what else I would be doing with most of my time. All that being said, I spent a lot of my time nitpicking on myself and, focusing on I why I suck, basically. I mean, I feel like maybe some of you will relate to this. The particular brand of like mental health illness that I have, right? So it's to do with like perfectionism, and it was so weird to me like when like my therapist was like, oh, you're a perfectionist. In my head I was like, how the hell can I be a perfectionist? I can't even strive for perfection, and that was like apparently a telltale sign. I have OCD and depression and some other things, maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure 100%, but these are some things that like really affect like my day-to-day life and like my ability to function as a human being. And when it comes to being like a creative person or like being an artist, it really clamps down on like what I'm able to do or what I'm able to show. And in the world of being an artist and being a musician, right now, a lot has to do with what am I putting out there, right? Like, what am I sharing, and what's good about my music. I don't know. It's taken me a decade to come to this point where I'm like, man, I actually have to be so delusional, and I have to just do and not think about the outcomes or like think about. I feel like I'm just rambling, and I honestly, in my head right now, I'm like, what am I saying in this video? Why am I even recording it? Who's gonna watch this? Like, it's gonna be so cringe, all that stuff. But this has been like my life for the last 30 years, 31 years that I've been alive, I guess. I don't know. I don't know when it started, to be honest, but But in the last 10 years, since when I decided to be a professional musician, it's been so hard to put myself out there. And honestly speaking, nobody really wants to hear that, apparently. I don't know. Actually, that's a big assumption. I'm not, you know what? I have loved hearing those stories from other people. I do think that a lot of us are kind of pressured, or like are kind of compelled to not share like the struggles that we go through. And it's so nice when like everything's neatly packaged, and like it's also very nice like when you've made it and then you look back and then you're like, oh, like look at this person who's made it now, but they struggled so much, all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Like I've like really struggled in the last 10 years, where I've been like, I've made like so many videos, and I would look at them and be like, no, it's not good. Like, it's not good enough. And like, I would just scrap them every single time, not put them up. And it just kind of led me into this like rut of not really putting myself out there or putting my work out there. And I was so lost, and I was so like, I was kind of in a hole for a bit, where I felt like I just kind of lost my mojo. I don't know if you can hear scratching, but my cat is currently scratching a door because she's bored, probably. Also, my cat's name is Inji, for future reference and for present reference, I guess. I don't know. I was just stuck. And then, like 2, 3 years ago, I went with my partner to visit a friend for her 30th birthday. And she lives in the like English countryside, basically. And we went and spent a weekend with her. And while we were there, we drove with her brother to get to her house from where we were partying. And he was playing a bunch of like songs, and I was really vibing. And he was like kind of going through his like country phase, and I was like, I'm actually a big fan of country music, but at that point I was so uninspired because of my own problems, that I just like wasn't really listening to any new music. Nothing was really inspiring me or exciting me. And then I just, I was just like, hey, what's going on, And anyway, coming back to the story, the next morning he was playing some songs, and one of the songs caught my ear, I guess. And it was a song called Velvet Elvis by Kacey Musgraves. And I don't know how, I don't know, like, especially considering I was like a Swiftie. This t-shirt I'm wearing. Shout out to my cousins who got me this gift. I don't know, I was living under a rock or something. I'd never heard of Kacey Musgraves, which, like, boo on me. But I found this song and I just made a note of it, and I went back home the next day, and I don't know, man, like this whole thing just like changed my life. Like I listened to the album where the song is from, which is called Golden Hour, and it just transformed my life. Like I think it just helped me. It just kind of pushed me in that direction where I found some inspiration, some excitement to like, devour like a piece of music, or an album, like, and the following year she released her next album, Deeper Well, which was like the perfect time that it found me. And in the title song of this album, Deeper Well, literally the first line is, my Saturn has returned when I turned 27 and everything started to change. For all my astro girlies out there, I'm sure you'll understand what I'm saying. If you don't understand what I'm saying here, and if you don't care about astrology, it's okay. We won't like focus too much on that. But long story short, is that I was around like, I was in my late 20s at the time, and I was also going through my Saturn return. And this like album was like also very fundamental in pushing me further into like, finding myself again, or like, I don't know, like just going through this journey. And I was still going through the motions of like my mental health issues, and I was just like, no, why is nothing working? Like, or am I not, and I was also very like, I was also feeling very much like I'm not putting in as much effort or hard work into this, or like something's not working here. And I just kind of withdrew into the shell, right? So as I was discovering all this new music, it put me back into this same place where I was when I first fell in love with music, which was when, I would listen to a song or an album and just completely like be taken by it. And it's such a nice feeling, right? Like when you listen to an album by your like favorite artist, or when you discover a new artist and listen to their album, and then they go on to become one of your favorites. So I was so inspired, and I was still struggling. I was still like trying to do stuff here and there, and like basically I was working on an EP for like production music purposes. If you want to know more about production music, I'll probably just add a note in the description. But I was going through a lot of like imposter syndrome, and like, I was like, I'd written all these nice songs, but I was just not able to get them to the finish line, and I was having like crazy imposter syndrome because I was like, what's up with me? Like, why am I not able to do the thing that I set out to do? And last year, after putting out this EP and everything, I still hadn't like done enough to share it. I still hadn't done like even like 25% of effort into sharing my music because I was going through my own mental problems. Like I was just like, who's gonna want to listen to this? Like, all those kinds of things. Finally, out of like this desperation, I found a book in our bookshelf that Joe, my partner, had bought ages ago for like £1.50 in a charity shop. And it was just sitting there, like they had gotten it and they were like, hey, you should check this book out. And but at the time, like maybe in 2022 or something, when they got this book, I was like just not in the mental space, and I don't know, I didn't even try. But last June, I was alone at home for like over a month, I would say. And I just picked this book up and I was like, literally, I have nothing to lose. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to do this. So I feel like some of you might already know what's coming. But this book is called The Artist's Way, and it's by Julia Cameron. I'm sure you would have seen like so many different artists talking about this, like Dochi or like our very own Marianne from India, from Kerala, who's like an amazing R&B artist. I just literally sat down and did this book. Like the book is basically like, it's you give your 12 weeks time, and it's so amazing. Like I don't even have words to say, but basically I just want to say like this book changed my life, just like Kacey Musgraves' album did, just like me being down in the dumps did, so many things. But this book really, really changed my relationship with myself and my work, and what I think about myself, how mean I am to myself, or how I don't give myself the same compassion and grace that I give other people. If you're somebody in this position, you don't have to be an artist. You don't have to like be someone who's wanting to practice art. Like you could also be like anyone really. Like if you're looking for something like this, I would highly recommend it. It's literally 12 weeks of your time. It's just 3 months. You can also do it like, I took slightly longer to do this because there were a couple of weeks in the middle where like, I didn't have the space to do it. But this whole video is just a ramble at this point. I don't know, maybe I should start a podcast. Would you listen to a podcast when I'm just rambling? I don't know. All this just to say that after I finished this book, I sat it down and I was like, okay, at the very least, I deserve it to myself, to do justice to myself, to the me that decided this a decade ago, to just do, to just try to just do and not get stuck in like the cobwebs of my own mind where I'm like stopping myself. So yeah, I just decided I'm gonna start uploading stuff onto my Instagram, to my YouTube. I've just been doing this, like it's been about 6 months now, and I am still learning a lot of things, and I'm still like, I would say like it's not like easy peasy completely, but I'm having a lot of fun doing it, firstly, because I'm doing something that I love. And I just want to say like also a huge thank you to every one of you who's been around here from day one, who's been around here from day like now. This is not only just my journey as an artist and what I'm doing to practice my art, but it's also about like how I'm finding community within, like among ourselves, and also like how we share our own stories and how we connect with each other. And it's been really lovely and it's been very nice. And I just want to say thank you. I also want to say I'm listening. If you want to put anything in the comments down below about your own story, or about your own struggles, or what you want to hear from me, or like why, like how did you find me, how are you here, are you a musician, like are you doing something like this, share your stuff. Maybe like we can all find each other in the comments. My cat is coming back inside the house. Inji, come here, come here, come here, hi, come here. She's loving me. You can't see her because she's on the floor, but I'll stop annoying her. I think she's not a huge fan of being picked up. She's also not a huge fan of cameras. But sorry for the distraction. Thank you for being here. And in the last few weeks, I've also received a few comments slash messages over here, especially on YouTube, where some of you have been following me on YouTube for some time, and one of them was like, "Hey, like I really missed listening to like your songs from like the covers that you used to post before, so like don't disappear again." I also don't want to disappear again. I want to be here. I want to do this, and thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Mental health is not always easy. I'm choosing to be delusional right now because that's the only thing that seems to get me further and further towards where I want to be. Thank you for listening, and come back. If you want to subscribe, please do. If you want to share this with your friends, please do. I'll be back again with my rambles, and I will also see you with more music. So thank you for being here. Love. Tea.